president. In the game, I pop president. Script. The whole scene flip, I go straight up, wait up, hold up, the key grip.
What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm gonna show you how to use one of the most powerful tools you can utilize on vocals: saturation, overdrive, and distortion. If you wanna give your vocals that grittier, more intense vibe, the MDMX plugin suite will let you go from subtle to super grimy. You got the overdrive, fuzz, and screamer. Each does its own thing. Just take a listen to these vocals before and after I hit them with the MDMX plugins. Here's the before.
I go political just to serve fiends. The kid is Michael, psycho cuts me. I go political just to serve fiends. The kid is Michael, psycho cuts me.
We got dirty in all the right places, but we didn't lose any clarity or presence on the vocals. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dig right in. Let's start with the lead vocals. I got 3 vocal stems assigned to this lead vocal bus. Check it out.
Back to basics, my game laid low. Only one dictate, Fidel cash flow.
So you can see I got 1 vocal right up the center and 2 supporting stacks panned left and right 25%. But for me, it's sounding way too clean. So let's spice and heat things up with the MDMX Overdrive. It's a soft clipper that can add that subtle crunchiness and warm edge to your vocals. Let's take it back to full reset. Here's what it sounds like right off the bat.
Back to basics, my game laid low. Only one.
All right, it's definitely overdriven. A little extreme, so let's shape it out. At the top, you got the input, stereo, mid, and side modes. In stereo, the entire stereo image gets overdriven. In mid, only the middle. And S means that only the sides are affected. Take a listen to the difference on each.
Call me Rick James, I got that glow. Call in Trout, man, I'm John Rambo. Swan blows with the blessed straight blaze at the rest.
All right, so remember we kept the first vocal stack in the center, and we panned those other 2 stacks to the left and right sides. So for this trick, we want to distort only the sides and keep the middle clean. So I'm going to switch it to S, and when you do that, the input S becomes available, and that's the input level of only the side pan vocal stacks. For this, we're going to treat only the sides with overdrive. So let me go ahead and mute that center vocal stack so we can focus only on the left and right sides. All right, now on the overdrive, you get a low cut. I don't want to distort any of that low-end content or create any mud, so let's roll off some low stuff at minus 12 dB. All right, let's move on to the gain knob, which controls the amount of overdrive.
Nah, say the drop ain't what it seems. The plot on another scheme, on blast.
See that? Now we have 2 gain types. Each one has a different color and waveform shape. Check it out.
Swan blows with the best straight blaze at the rest. I raise up iron gloves and smoking up your chest. Mr. Banner with the cannon, son, I'm on my Johnny Quest.
Now I like the second type because it has that bite in the upper mids and top end, right where I want it to cut through in the mix. Now this HD switch is for upsampling, but let's leave HD off for now. We're gonna keep it gritty. Let's go down to the dynamics section where you have punch and rider mode. Here we can add some dynamics to overdrive and then blend in how much of that you want in the signal. So in punch mode, you get mild, moderate, or extreme. Check it out.
Swan blows with the best straight blaze at the rest. I raise up iron gloves and smoking up your chest. Mr. Banner with the cannon, son, I'm on my Johnny Quest.
All right, so when you're in rider mode, the threshold is revealed and you can control the level at which the overdrive kicks in. It works similar to a gate. Watch the waveform in the upper right while I adjust the threshold.
Swan blows with the best straight blaze at the rest. I raise up iron gloves and smoking up your chest. Mr. Banner with the cannon, son, I'm on my Johnny Quest.
You notice that the more I bring the threshold down, the more lower level material gets through. So if I bring it all the way down,
Swan blows with the best straight blaze at the rest.
Every nuance is affected no matter the level. But as I bring it back up,
Swan blows with the best straight blaze at the rest. I raise up iron gloves and smoking up your chest.
only the higher level elements will hit the overdrive until I bring it all the way up to 100.
Swan blows with the best straight blaze at the rest. I raise up iron gloves and smoking up.
And it gets closer to cleaner sounding again. So I'm going to set my threshold at about 40 and then blend back in some of that punch so it only kicks in when the vocals are being said. So we're preventing any low-level content from getting overdriven, reducing that extra noise we don't want in the mix.
Swan blows with the best straight blaze at the rest. I raise up iron gloves and smoking up your chest. Mr. Banner with the cannons.
All right, now let's go down to the EQ section and do some more shaping. Now you have the low and high shelves, but then on the low and high mids, you have bell filters with 3 selectable Q shapes, A, B, and C, and each one gets wider as you go from A to B to C.
Mr. Banner with the cannon, son, I'm on my Johnny Quest. Carrots when the gym drop, never stress, pen lie. Nah, say the drop ain't what it's.
All right, the last thing is the output section where you can control the temperature and the overall mix of Overdrive. With the temperature, you can keep it hot.
Mr. Banner with the cannon, son, I'm on my Johnny Quest. Carrots when the gym drop, never stress, pen lie. Nah.
And you get a smooth, warm Overdrive, or you can cool it down.
Mr. Banner with the cannon, son, I'm on my Johnny Quest. Carrots when the gym drop.
And it gets brighter and more present. Consider this your thermostat where you can tailor the right feel of distortion in your track. So the last thing I'm gonna do is use the mix control. And it acts like a parallel processor where you can mix between the dry and the overdriven signal. I'm gonna unmute that center vocal and let's see where we're at.
Swan blows with the blessed, straight blaze at the rest. I raise up iron gloves and smoking up your chest. Mr. Banner with the cannon, son, I'm on my.
All right, I like the way it's hitting there now. I made some adjustments. Let me A-B the lead vocal bus for you so you can hear the final difference.
Swan blows with the blessed, straight blaze at the rest. I raise up iron gloves and smoking up your chest. Mr. Banner with the cannon, son, I'm on my Johnny Quest. Carrots when the gyms drop, never stress, pen lie. Nah, say the drop.
We added a nice edge, some character. It's not too overpowering, and it's cutting through much better in the mix. The next thing I want to show you is on background vocals. I have those separated here on this background vocal bus. Check out these delay throws I have going with the leads.
Back to basics, my game laid low. Only one dictate, Fidel cash flow. Call me Rick James, I got that glow.
All right, real quick, I used H delay to do some quarter and eighth note throws here and there. I got my high pass around 300 and the low pass at about 3.5K, and we get that radio effect. But I'm looking for something dirtier, more like a megaphone type effect. So for that, I went with the MDMX Fuzz. I inserted it after the H delay. Check out what the Fuzz adds.
Back to basics, my game laid low. Only one dictate, Fidel cash flow. Call me Rick James.
You hear right away, it's much more extreme than the Overdrive. The controls work pretty much the same way, and it has some different features I'll show you right now. So since these delay throws are supporting the leads, let's give them a low cut at -24. I want to make sure none of that low end gets through. And we're going to keep it in stereo mode so that we add distortion to the entire stereo image with that delay. So Fuzz has two gain waveform types that generate aggressive distortion. Check it out. You can hear that type A is a bit darker, while type B is more in your face. What also makes Fuzz unique is the built-in octave control. Check it out. You can generate a layer 1 octave down. You can add an octave up. Or you can blend between the two and pinpoint the area where it feels just right. Down here, you have the dynamic section. Now, this section works the same way as it does the MDMX Overdrive, but let's play these delay throws back with the rest of the vocals and see where we're at. While I do that, I'm going to use the EQ section and see if we can improve the overall shape of distortion on those delay throws.
This ain't pop for presidents. In the game, I pop presidents. Script, the whole scene flip. I go straight up, wait up, hold up, the key grip. I go political just to serve fiends.
All right, so you see I took down some more lows. I don't want any of that getting through. And then I brought up some high mids to enhance the radio megaphone texture, and I ended up with B for the Q setting. And then I took down just a little harshness in the high end. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do is check the temperature in the mix here on the bottom. Same as we did on the previous example with the MDMX Overdrive, let's just give it a final seasoning and a balance with the rest of the track. Here we go.
Back to basics, my game laid low. Only one dictate, Fidel cash flow. Call me Rick James, I got that glow. Calling Trout Man, I'm John Rambo. Swan blows with the blessed, straight blaze at the rest. I raise up iron gloves and smoking up your chest.
All right, so I ended up with the temperature just above halfway, and I ended up bringing down the mix control a little to 75. Let me A-B that for you one last time so you can hear the final difference.
Back to basics, my game laid low. Only one dictate, Fidel cash flow. Call me Rick James, I got that glow. Back to basics, my game laid low. Only one dictate, Fidel cash flow. Call me Rick James, I got that glow.
Those vocal delay throws got super aggressive, but we're still under control, and you saw how quickly I got there. so you're able to get quick results while you're in that zone. The last thing I want to show you is a trick to treat loud or screaming ad-lib tracks. Now, if you're working with multiple vocal layers, you want to add a different flavor to each layer. Take a listen to these ad-libs. It's more like a loud, hype track just to bring out that energy.
I go political just to serve fiends. The kid is Michael, psycho, cuss mean.
All right, it's not as aggressive as I want, so we're going to take the third plugin in this suite, Screamer. And we're going to add an intense and edgy color to these ad-libs. Check it out.
I go political just to serve fiends. The kid is Michael, psycho, cuss mean.
So you hear that it's not as extreme as the MDMX Fuzz, but it's heavy in its own way. Like the MDMX Overdrive and Fuzz, you get the same input controls, stereo, mid, inside. You got the temperature, mix, and output controls at the bottom. But Screamer gives a unique, oversaturated color. Check out this boost control on the gain knob. So you hear how that boosted up that mid-range, and then we can use the tone control to put just the right amount of treble and give it more presence. All right, if it still feels a little too hot, all you need to do is turn down the temperature. All right, let's play these ad-libs back now with the rest of the vocals and see where we're at.
I go political just to serve fiends. The kid is Michael, psycho, cuts mean. I smoke critical just to get clean. I show up, glow up, dumb out, and blow steam.
So I ended up bringing the mix control down a little. I felt it was a little too harsh, but you can see that with just a couple adjustments, I got right where I wanted to quickly. And that's what this suite of distortion tools is all about. Let me play the full track back for you one last time so you can hear the final results on all the vocals.
I go political just to serve fiends. The kid is Michael, psycho, cuts mean. I go political just to serve fiends. The kid is Michael, psycho, cuts mean.
Big difference right there. We put more energy, intensity, and attitude with just 3 plugins. Now, whether you go subtle or you go hard with these plugins, you're definitely going to improve the character in your mixes. If you want to learn more about the Waves MDMX distortion tools, just head over to waves.com/MDMX. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button for the latest tips, tricks, and more from Waves Audio. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching.